Before we begin this morning prayer, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. If you're choosing peace over perfection today, you're in the right place, and your support helps others find their way here too. God, I woke up this morning already feeling the pull to catch up, to do more, to prove I'm okay, to look like I've got everything figured out. But before I take one more step into this day, I want to stop. I want to breathe. I want to begin differently. I want to begin from a place of presence, not perfection. I want to remind myself that I don't have to perform for your love. I don't have to meet anyone's expectations to be enough. I don't have to hustle for value. I am already worthy. I am already loved. I am already held. Let this be a morning that teaches me to slow down, to listen, to pay attention to what matters. Not to the pressure that pushes me out of the moment, but to the stillness that invites me to stay. I don't want to spend this day trying to be impressive. I want to spend it being honest, being aware, being grateful, being here. Help me start by letting go of the lists in my head, the ones that say I'll finally be okay when I check everything off. I don't want to live like peace is at the end of my accomplishments. I want to feel peace now. In this breath, in this quiet moment, before anything is finished, before anything is earned. Let that be enough. Help me be kind to the version of myself I bring into this day. Maybe she's tired, maybe he's unsure. Maybe I woke up with thoughts that I'm already behind. Maybe I feel pressure I can't name. Help me greet myself gently. Let my inner voice be a friend today. Let me say, you're doing okay. Let me say, you don't have to push so hard. Let me say, this moment matters more than you think. Let me replace self-criticism with compassion. God, remind me today that I don't have to have a perfect plan. I just need presence. That's where you meet me. Not in the flawless version of me, I imagine, but right here, in the real one. The one who forgets, the one who tries, the one who wants to do it right, but sometimes doesn't. That's the one you love. That's the one you walk with. That's the one you breathe peace into. Let this be a day where I stop rushing past myself, where I stop editing my humanity just to fit someone else's idea of what I should be. Let me be messy. Let me be learning. Let me be enough in the process. Let me notice what's real instead of chasing what's polished. Let me show up with heart, not just effort. Let me feel my life while I'm living it. If I start to compare myself to someone else today, to their productivity, their beauty, their calm, their confidence, catch me. Gently interrupt that thought. Turn me back toward my own path. Remind me that presence looks different for everyone, that perfection is an illusion, that the more I focus on being just right, the more I miss the small joys that are already here. Help me see beauty in the ordinary, in the way sunlight moves across the floor, in the warmth of my coffee mug, in the way a familiar song makes my chest soften, in the quiet kindness of someone's smile. Let these be the markers of success today. Not how much I get done, but how fully I live what's already here. When I feel the urge to fix everything, teach me to pause. Teach me to ask, is this mine to carry? Teach me to ask, can this wait? Teach me to say, I'll come back to this when I'm grounded. Let me not treat pressure as urgent truth. Let me treat peace as a priority. Let me create room for breath before reaction. Let me choose softness, even in small ways. Let today be a practice in not knowing, in showing up even when I don't have the answers, in trusting that being present is more powerful than being perfect, in trusting that my full attention matters more than my flawless execution, in believing that my worth doesn't fluctuate with my performance. I don't need to do more to matter more. I already matter. Let me stop believing I'm too much for feeling deeply, or not enough for needing rest, or failing for not finishing everything. Let me reclaim a gentler story. Let me be someone who values presence over pressure, who values connection over appearance, who values peace over productivity, who lives slower but fuller. If someone asks for more than I can give today, help me be honest. Help me say no with grace. Help me not betray my own limits just to meet someone else's expectations. Let my boundaries reflect belief that I am worthy of rest, that I am allowed to protect my peace, that I don't need to say yes to everything to be loved. God, let me be where my feet are. Let me not miss the sound of the wind through the trees because I'm thinking about emails. Let me not miss the joy in someone's voice because I'm rewriting a conversation in my head. Let me not miss the beauty of now because I'm stuck in what hasn't happened yet. Let me return again and again to this breath, this moment, Let me be present in my work, not just rushing through it, but offering it with care. Let me be present in my relationships, not performing, but connecting. Let me be present in my body, not ignoring it, but listening to what it needs. Let me be present in my emotions, not suppressing them, but moving with them gently. Let me forgive myself quickly today. Let me not turn small missteps into shame. Let me learn and release. Let me laugh at what went sideways. Let me breathe through what feels heavy. Let me remember that presence includes grace, that I don't need to carry the weight of should have done better, that every moment is a new chance to return. So here I am, God, not perfect, not polished, but present, willing, open, soft. I offer you this imperfect start. I trust that it's enough. I trust that I don't need to earn peace. I can receive it. I trust that you're here with me in every small moment I choose to be here too. Let this be the kind of day that doesn't need a highlight reel. Let it be quiet and kind and full of little breaths that feel like home. Let me end it not with exhaustion, but with gratitude. Let me say, I didn't do it all, but I stayed present. And let that be more than enough. God, I'm here again, not to fix everything, not to reach some new level of performance, but to return to this moment, to you, to myself. Because somewhere between the start of this day and now, I already feel the current trying to pull me back into that old rhythm. Hurry, prove, accomplish, impress. But I don't want that to be my rhythm anymore. I want to stay rooted. I want to stay soft. I want to stay here, present in my own breath, in my own life, in the gift of now. Let this next stretch of my day not become a race. Let it be a gentle walk. Let me move through the hours, not trying to prove I'm enough, but living like I already am, because I am. You've told me that in every quiet moment when I stop long enough to hear it, let me not forget it just because the noise around me rises. If I've already started rushing today, if I've snapped at someone, skipped my breath, or ignored my body's signals, help me begin again. I don't need to carry that moment forward as a sentence. I can let it go. I can return. You are not asking me for perfection. You're offering me presence. And I'm still allowed to receive it, even here, even now, especially now. Let me breathe deeper with every task. Let me answer the next request from a grounded place. Let me check my tone before I speak. Let me remember that being efficient is not the same as being peaceful. I can do my work with focus and stillness at the same time. I can move forward without rushing. I can be productive without being panicked. God, I know I won't be perfect today. There will be moments I forget to pause. Moments I fall into old patterns. Moments when I say yes, when I should have said no. But you don't measure me by my mistakes. You meet me in them. You walk with me through them. You teach me gently, kindly, without shame, and that kind of presence heals me in ways performance never could. Help me to forgive myself faster today. When I speak too harshly, when I overthink, when I miss the signs of my own needs, let me breathe in grace instead of guilt. Let me say, that wasn't who I want to be, and then gently course correct. I don't need to spiral to return to presence. I can just stop, pause, begin again, and you'll be here like you always are. If the pressure starts rising again, if the inbox fills, the notifications ping, the expectations creep in, let me not absorb that pressure into my body. Let me not carry what's not mine. Let me ask, is this necessary? Is this aligned? Is this kind? Let those questions guide me back. Let me choose intention over obligation. Let me answer from within, not from reaction. Let me be present in my body right now. Where am I holding tension? What am I clenching? What does my jaw feel like? My shoulders, my back. What does this version of me, this exact one, right here need? A stretch, a glass of water, a few breaths with eyes closed, a step outside to feel the sky. Let me not treat presence like a luxury. Let me treat it like breath, essential, available, holy. God, I want to be present in my relationships today. Not distracted while people are speaking, not thinking of the next thing I need to do while someone is telling me something that matters. Let me truly see the people in front of me. Let me listen not just to words, but to tone, to what's underneath. Let me be a safe place, even if it's just for a minute, even if it's just with a smile or a soft reply. Let my presence be a gift, not my perfection, my presence. Help me let go of control today. I know I can't predict how the rest of this day will unfold. I can't make people respond a certain way. I can't plan around every interruption, but I can be here. I can stay open. I can stay grounded, and that's enough. I don't need to know what happens next to stay anchored in peace. I just need to trust that you're already there, and that when I arrive at each moment, you'll meet me in it. Let presence be the way I love myself today. Let it sound like speaking kindly to my reflection. Let it feel like a slow exhale when I notice my heart beating fast. Let it move like patience toward my own process, like stillness in the middle of the swirl, like pausing long enough to taste my food, notice my breath, or put my hand over my heart and say, "You're okay." If comparison tries to show up again, if I start measuring my progress against someone else's timeline, shut it down gently, not with shame, but with truth. I'm not here to live someone else's life. I'm here to live mine, fully, attentively, faithfully. The world doesn't need a perfect version of me. It needs a real one, a present one who is alive and paying attention. Let me find joy in the middle of the ordinary today. Let me notice the color of the sky, the sound of my footsteps, the comfort of a soft sweater, the way music shifts the mood in the room. These are not small things. They're reminders that life is not measured in milestones alone, but in the moments we slow down enough to feel. And if I'm afraid to slow down, afraid of what might rise to the surface when I do, meet me in that fear. Let me know I'm safe. Let me know I don't need to rush past discomfort, that I don't need to run from my own feelings. That presence is not just about peace, but about honesty. Let me stay with myself, even when I'm unsure, even when I'm tender, even when it would be easier to perform. God, teach me how to return, not just once, but again and again. To notice I've drifted and then come back, to realize I've gotten sharp and then soften, to catch myself rushing and then slow down. Let this be a rhythm of returning, not a pressure to never leave. I won't always get it right, but I can always come home to this moment. So here I am. in the middle of this day, choosing presence again, choosing breath again, choosing truth again, choosing softness over sharpness, stillness over speed, trust over tension. And I'll keep choosing it, not because I'm trying to be perfect at being present, but because I want to live, I want to really live this day, not rush through it. And that desire is sacred. Thank you for being here every time I return. Thank you for not demanding a perfect performance. Thank you for meeting me in the breath, in the pause, in the quiet decision to slow down. Thank you for reminding me that presence is always available, always holy, always enough. God, as the day continues and I begin to move into its rhythm, I feel the pull again, the pull toward pressure, toward perfection, toward checking off just one more thing, toward proving that I'm doing enough, that I'm holding it all together, that I'm managing every detail with grace. But I don't want to live that way anymore. I don't want to rush through my life so fast that I miss the moments that matter. I don't want to live in the space of constant tension. I want to return again and again to the peace of being fully here. Let the next part of this day be shaped not by how much I do, but by how deeply I'm present. Let me be in each conversation with my whole attention. Let me move through each task with care instead of rushing. Let me take 5 seconds before every decision and ask, can I do this from peace, or am I doing this from pressure? Let that one question bring me back again and again. If the day has already taken on a life of its own, if the morning slipped away in noise, if I reacted too quickly, if I snapped or got lost in my head, remind me, it's never too late to begin again. I don't have to wait for a fresh day to reset. I can breathe now. I can pause now. I can return now. And you'll meet me in that return every time. Let me stop waiting to earn presence. Let me stop believing I need to finish something before I'm allowed to slow down. I don't need to reach a checkpoint to take a deep breath. I don't need to do everything perfectly in order to feel grounded. I can feel peace now in the middle, in the swirl, in the ordinary moments where I choose to come back to stillness. God, let me carry peace in my body as I move. Let it show in the way I walk. Let it soften my face. Let it live in my voice. Let it shape my energy in the rooms I enter. Let me be someone whose presence calms the space, not because I've figured it all out, but because I'm choosing to be fully here. Let others feel that without needing to explain it. Let them feel safe around me, not because I'm perfect, but because I'm present. And if I notice myself spiraling again, overthinking, rushing, worrying, let me stop and check in. Let me ask, what am I trying to control? Let me name it. Let me loosen my grip. Let me remember that I'm not in charge of outcomes. I'm in charge of attention, of how I move, of what I believe. Let me surrender the rest. Let me give it back to you with open hands and an open heart. If I feel behind, help me question what behind even means. According to who, by what measure, whose clock am I watching, whose voice am I listening to? Bring me back to now, to my pace, to my story. Let me walk it with intention, not apology. Let me release the belief that I need to earn my rest, that I have to finish it all before I'm allowed to sit down, that someone else's approval makes my effort valid. Let me rest because I'm human, because my body matters, because slowing down is wise. Let me pause in the middle of the day, not as a luxury, but as a practice, as a declaration. I choose to be here. I choose to feel this moment. I choose to live awake. If my to-do list starts getting louder than my heart, turn down the noise. Let me recenter. Let me ask, what's actually important? Let me leave room for grace. Let me create space for joy. Let me refuse the lie that constant activity equals value. Let me show up from fullness, not depletion. Let me be present in joy today, not rushing past the good things, not missing the beauty that is already here. Let the sunlight hit my face. Let a compliment land. Let someone's laughter soften my edges. Let me pause long enough to taste, to smile, to breathe, to feel. I don't want to miss the life that's happening just because I think I should be further along. Let this be a day where slowness is my strength, where being grounded is my superpower, where I carry no shame for walking at the pace of grace. Let me not apologize for moving with intention. Let me not hide my calm because others are spinning. Let me trust that presence is enough. And sometimes it's everything. And if someone around me expects perfection, whether with words or just energy, let me not absorb that pressure. Let me stay anchored in who I am. Let me kindly set a boundary. Let me say, I'm doing my best with what I have. Let me release perfection in my communication today. Let me speak honestly, even if my words aren't polished. Let me ask questions when I don't know. Let me say, I need time to think about that. Let me say, I don't have an answer right now, but I'm listening. Let me remember that presence in a conversation is more powerful than perfect phrasing. Let me release perfection in my productivity. Let me remember that checking things off the list isn't the only way to measure a day. Let me say, I rested today, and that matters. Let me say, I paused instead of reacting, and that matters. Let me say, I stayed kind, and that matters. Let me honor what's invisible, what's internal, what's sacred. God, I don't want this to be a one-time shift. I want presence to become my way, my default, my home. I know I'll forget sometimes. I know the world will keep trying to convince me to chase something else. But today, I remember, and I want to keep remembering. So here I am, again, in the middle of the day, choosing presence over perfection, again, and I'll keep choosing it, because this is who I want to be, not flawless, not always on time, not endlessly productive, but real, open, grounded, alive. And that is more than enough. God, we're nearing the end of this morning now, and I can feel that I've been different today. Not because everything's gone smoothly, not because I've gotten everything right, but because I've stayed closer to myself, closer to you, closer to peace, because I've chosen again and again not to strive for perfection, but to be fully, softly, simply present. The way I've noticed more, breathed more, spoke slower, thought kinder, caught myself spiraling, and gently stepped back into stillness. That kind of shift may seem small to the world, but to me, it's sacred. It means I'm living awake. It means I'm no longer letting pressure be my compass. I'm letting peace lead the way. Let me hold on to that as I continue into the day. Let presence not be a morning mood, but a daily practice. Let me walk into meetings, tasks, spaces, and conversations with the same awareness I brought into prayer. Let me be grounded enough to move slower when the moment calls for it, brave enough to speak calmly when others rush, open enough to pause when my instincts want to rush ahead. Let me keep checking in with myself as I go, noticing when my jaw tightens, when my breath shortens, when I stop hearing what's being said because I'm too deep in thoughts of what's next. Help me stop, return, and soften. Let me place my hand on my chest, breathe, and say, you're safe, you're here. You don't need to be perfect, just be. Let this day be shaped by intention, not perfection, not urgency, not outside pressure. Let the way I carry myself speak of quiet freedom, the kind that doesn't need attention or applause, just presence, just awareness, just love, emotion. If things go differently than I expected, remind me it's not a failure. It's just life doing what life does. Surprising me, stretching me, teaching me. Let me respond, not with control, but with curiosity. Let me ask, what's here for me in this moment? Let me not shut down. Let me not tighten up. Let me stay present with what is, even if it's uncomfortable. Let me stay soft when I want to harden. Let me forgive quickly when I feel the urge to replay. Let me choose compassion when my mind wants to criticize, especially toward myself, because presence begins inside. If I can learn to meet myself where I am, gently, honestly, lovingly, then I'll know how to meet the world that way too. God, help me not end this day by grading it, by counting what I didn't get done, by mentally circling what felt off. Help me end it by naming the moments I was truly there, the way I sat with someone and listened, the pause I took before answering, the smile I felt when sunlight touched the wall, the breath I returned to in the middle of noise, the way I didn't rush through lunch, the way I said, "That's enough for now." These are the things that made the day meaningful. These are the moments I live. Let me carry presence into the rest of my week, into the way I plan, the way I rest, the way I work, the way I love. I don't need more tips, more pressure, more optimization. I need room to feel alive. I need permission to slow down. I need the courage to stop apologizing for not doing it all. Let me build a life that honors my humanity instead of constantly trying to rise above it. I know perfection will try to creep back in tomorrow. It always does. It shows up dressed as guilt, as productivity, as urgency, as comparison. Let me see it for what it is. An old pattern I'm no longer interested in. I've lived that way before. I've worn myself down trying to be everything to everyone, and it never brought me peace. But presence, it always does. So I'll keep choosing it, morning after morning, moment after moment, not perfectly, but sincerely, softly, with hope. And you'll keep meeting me here, like you always do, in the quiet, in the return, in the breath. Thank you for being with me, not when I'm at my best, but when I'm most honest, most real, most still. Thank you for reminding me that I don't need to be impressive to be worthy. I just need to be awake to the life you've given me. And today, I was. Amen.